Whoa, wait a minute, so you're telling me that this movie isn't about Homer Simpson?
After years of war.
The Odyssey 2026 is a fantasy action film written and directed by the Christopher Nolan, and it is an adaptation of Homer's Greek epic, The Odyssey. The film follows Matt Damon as Odysseus on a journey to get back to his homeland, but along the way he will encounter many different creatures that will make his life and the life of his men a living hell. At least that's the simpleton version of what The Odyssey is pretty much about. It is an iconic piece of fictional literature that many people have taken a lot of inspiration. I mean, if you are a big fan of stuff like Lord of the Rings, that takes a lot of inspiration from Homer's The Odyssey. I have a very suspicious feeling that I'm going to get absolutely flamed in the comments for this review, because I'm not a super mega Christopher Nolan glazer. I appreciate his work, I think he's a very talented director. I just don't always vibe with his characters or his stories. I mean, the last movie that I really liked from him was ironically his previous one, Oppenheimer. I thought that movie was amazing. But even before that, stuff like Tenet and Dunkirk, I was just like, man, you're really starting to fucking lose me. That's not me saying that those movies are particularly bad, I just couldn't vibe with them like a lot of people did. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a Odyssey purist, so it's not like I know every little thing about this story. Like, I know stuff because it's been parodied to hell, so I've definitely seen the story being retold in different ways, in different formats, in different mediums. I think I've only ever read the Odyssey once in my life, and I have some details a bit blurry, but after watching it, a lot of it started to come back to me. And I can say with full confidence that I think this movie is pretty great. But oh fucking hell. But what? What are you bitching about now? Well, here's the thing. While I do think this movie is great, I'm not necessarily sure if it's the best adaptation of The Odyssey. I already went on a whole spiel on how I'm not a purist of The Odyssey. I'm not somebody that fully knows everything about the story, or at least my memory on it is a little bit fuzzy. But watching the movie, I was like, this is really great. Like, they're doing a lot of great things in this movie, but they're also kind of changing some stuff. They're taking some creative liberties in some places where I'm like, I really want to be on your side here, but also I'm like, this just doesn't vibe with me that well. Again, that's me personally. I know a lot of people are absolutely loving this movie, and I'm very happy for y'all, okay? This is just me, okay? So just before you fucking start attacking me, I just need you to understand that I really do like the movie, okay? I think the movie is great, but I'm gonna go talk about some stuff that I thought was just not so great for me, personally. One of the things that was very noticeable from the get-go to me was how this movie really dials it back on all the mythical and fantastical elements from the original story in this movie. Because the original story of the Odyssey, again, it's a fictional Greek epic, right? And there's a lot of different creatures and gods involved in it. Like, the gods in the actual story of the Odyssey are very much involved in that story. They are full-blown out characters in that story. And here, the gods to me just did not feel like they were involved enough, and that was kind of disappointing to me. And again, the movie does have creatures in it, but there's one part of this movie that really just kind of, I just didn't vibe with it. I just really thought they kind of fumbled this part in particular for me, and that was the scene with the Cyclops. Now, I know that a lot of people are loving this scene from what I've read, but man, I just thought that this part in the movie was kind of mishandled, because in the actual story, to me, that is the part that I remember the most of the actual story of the Odyssey. The Cyclops encounter, I think, is great. It's even a little bit funny, but here in the actual movie, they changed it in a way that it just feels wrong. Like, I get what they're going for, it just doesn't hit the same. Like, I don't like this. But again, I know that I'm a very small minority on that one, okay? The costuming design is another part that a lot of people have been criticizing about this movie, and I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't feel super strongly about it. Like, I think a lot of the costuming design is actually very good, and it actually looks very cool. Like, especially when it comes to the armor pieces in this movie, I'm like, god damn, this shit is fucking badass. But then there's like other times where some characters will be wearing some shit that I'm like, bro, that's just something I could fucking wear on a Sunday morning. It just clashes a little bit with these really amazing looking costumes, and then you compare it to, I don't know, something some random dude would be wearing on a Sunday morning on his way to get his fucking, I don't know, Dunkin' Donuts. Now this next point I know is gonna piss off a lot of you off, and that is that Christopher Nolan really does not know how to write women. Now, let me be clear, I'm not saying that he is awful at writing women. What I'm saying is that he has the tendencies of really underwriting his female characters. That is no difference in this movie. For example, Anne Hathaway plays Penelope. I think she's good. Like, Anne Hathaway is good in the role, but I just don't feel like she's giving enough to work with in the movie. The same I could say about Lupita Nyong'o playing Helen of Troy. I think she's amazing in the movie. The bad part about that is that she's barely in the movie, and when she's in it, again, it's the same issue. She feels underdeveloped, or at least she feels underwritten. You don't feel like she really gets the shine that she deserves. Christopher, my god, you are not helping your case here. Even after all that I've talked about, even all the stuff that maybe I'm not fucking with, or maybe that I'm just like, I wish it did this a little bit differently, I can't deny it. This is still a pretty great movie. This movie is incredible when it comes to the spectacle. That fucking Trojan horse scene, god damn, highlight of the movie. That and the final battle at the end of the movie. My god, especially with the score. The score really just kind of amplifies a lot of these big bombastic action sequences, these war sequences that are ginormous. What's even more impressive is that a lot of this stuff is practical. Again, that Trojan horse scene, beautiful. I think it is astonishing. Truly, in my opinion, the best sequence for me in the whole movie. And I know that I've been talking about how Christopher Nolan doesn't know how to write women, but the women in this movie are still very good. Anne Hathaway is amazing. Lupita Nyong'o is amazing. They're just not giving much to work with because he just didn't write much for them to do in the movie. But everybody else who is more involved in this movie, they are very good. Like, all these actors are great. Matt Damon as Odysseus, I think, is actually very good. Tom Holland in the movie is also very good. These villains, holy shit, these fucking villains are amazing. Robert Pattinson. First of all, Robert Pattinson has been on a ginormous trajectory of just being a goated fucking actor. And this movie just adds to that. He is a slimy son of a bitch in this movie. Oh my god, I love it. The one that really caught me off guard, and I have been seeing people hype him up, but I was like, really? Him? The best? Is a highlight in this movie? Yeah, that's right. John Leguizamo, ironically, I think is probably the best performance in this movie. I think he is amazing. He beats the shit out of everybody else in this movie. And that's not to say that everybody else is bad. There is one that I'll talk about in a minute that was like, For the most part, when it comes to everybody in the cast, I truly believe John Leguizamo exceeded my expectations. And in my opinion, was the best performance in the whole movie. Period. The one that I wasn't super crazy about had to be Jon Bernthal, but that's because I feel like he just plays the same guy in almost everything he's in. I'm not saying that he's talentless. I think Jon Bernthal is a good actor. I just don't feel like he's gotten that role that really cements him as a great or amazing actor. Again, and everything that I've seen him, I think he's good, but not great. I think a lot of other people in this movie really outshine his performance here. Also, a warning to some of you, if you are an animal person, specifically a dog person, beware of this movie, because this movie does not give a fuck about these dogs at all. So if you're sensitive to seeing animals being hurt, or again specifically dogs being hurt, you might have a rough time with this. Going back to these amazing set pieces, I think what really makes them work is Christopher Nolan's amazing director. Just the look of these scenes is astonishing. The cinematography is incredible. It's beautiful. That's why I say I have a lot of respect for Christopher Nolan, because even though I don't always fuck with his characters or with his stories, that dude knows how to fucking film a goddamn scene. Like, even in something like Tenet, which is a movie that I don't particularly love or really like that much, it still has that Christopher Nolan sauce. That's like, god damn it, as much as I'm not really enjoying this a lot, he still has it. Like, he still has a keen eye to film amazing sequences, and it's no different in this movie. His touch is what makes a lot of these scenes really incredible. One thing that a lot of people, or at least something that some people have been complaining about it, is the color grading of the movie. That the movie looks a little too dark, it looks a little too gray, especially because, again, it being based or adapting a very fantastical and mythical story. The fact that the movie looks as dark as it is something that some people just can't vibe with. I kind of understand some of these criticisms. There are some scenes in this movie that I feel like are way too fucking dark. And I'm like, god damn it, I get it. This is the new modern Hollywood thing to do, to just not fucking have lighting for anything now. But the thing is, even then, there's still a lot of scenes in this movie that are just beautiful to look at. And I feel like a lot of the color grading in this movie works for the kind of movie that Christopher Nolan wanted to make. And the score, I think, is actually pretty fucking phenomenal. I'm somebody that, when it comes to Christopher Nolan scores, I'm very 50-50 on them. Half the time, I'm like, damn, this shit's good and it fits the scenes very well. And then other times, I'm like, what the fuck are the characters saying? And here, I think the score works very well. The score isn't overpowering what characters are saying, so I can still listen to what they are saying while listening to this amazing soundtrack, or I mean this amazing score. And at the same time, I'm also having a blast with how it fits a lot of these scenes, especially, again, the action sequences. Going back to the cast, this is a fucking ginormous cast. Holy shit, some of these people really are here to just have one tiny scene where they don't even have a single line of dialogue, and then they're just gone. Whenever they announced that Travis Scott was part of the cast, I was like, okay, I guess. And watching the movie, he's actually kind of good. He only gets like 2 scenes in the whole movie, but whenever he's on screen, I was like, okay, he's actually not bad. I think he actually did a pretty decent job. The final conclusion has to be that if you are a super mega fan of the story of the Odyssey, Homer's Odyssey, you still will enjoy this movie. I truly believe that you will enjoy it for what the movie is, even though you still will probably find stuff to nitpick or complain about. And look, I understand, you love this story, so it's not like me saying, ah, fuck you for being protective of this iconic story. That's not what I'm saying. But even if you know nothing about the story of Homer's Odyssey, I think you can really fucking enjoy this movie. I think it's a great example of what a good summer blockbuster should be, which it should be just a fun fucking movie, believe it or not. A movie that is fun, has the spectacle, looks amazing, sounds incredible, yet still gives you a great story and good enough characters to follow. So my final rating for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is going to be an 8 out of 10. I know some people might be a little disappointed that I'm not giving this a higher rating, or maybe some of you are disappointed that I'm not giving it a lower rating. I don't fucking know anymore, honestly. But at the end, what I'm trying to say is that I think it's a great movie. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but for what Christopher Nolan did with this, I think he did a pretty good job. It's a fun movie, it's an entertaining movie, it's a great blockbuster movie. Is it a great adaptation of The Odyssey? I wouldn't say so, but it's still a pretty damn good fucking time. But what did you think of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or just kind of in the middle? Let me know down in the comments. I really want to know what you guys think about it. And like always, good day, good night, and stay safe.